Alright guys, I got some really bad news. I just cannot win with the Enma team. So here, we get into fever time before a normal even hits us, and we perfectly get an orb so that way Goku Enma can get his Soultimate off first, meaning we can save Jane's Soultimate for when it's buffed by a Super Fever to get another Omen Enma. However, the problem comes in that I don't have New Year's Kyra or Fudo Boy Gold, who are just better for this than God of Armor Fudoma. So even though we get this super close to perfect run, it just isn't enough because we don't do enough damage. Now, because I just cannot do it with the Enma team, I have some extra bonus clears for you, so it's not all terrible, but I mean, this is quite a shame. The Enma team literally just cannot do it anymore. What a shame. 1.7 million, we would need 160k at least. So next up, we have the Brave team. Now the thing with the Brave team is they've recently been buffed with Mara, and she is ridiculous. Now I don't have Megumi with her Easy Link this time because I'm using her as an Ohajiki bonus because I'm also just using two regular Brave units for the Ohajikis. So I have to use the perma bonus for this time. But normally, when she has Easy Link, I think Brave is honestly probably easily the best team in the game. Because they can do a very ridiculous amount of damage. I don't do a ridiculous amount of damage here just because, well, I didn't get good board luck. Because, of course I didn't. But once we just, pop a bunch of Puni, get enough Itsukis to get back into fever time, except I don't get enough. I get 11 when I need 13, but of course, whatever. Even though we're at less than half of our HP left, we do so much damage that it's seriously just... It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Like, we actually do such a ridiculous amount of damage. This throne stage has 1.86 million HP. And we're about to do it in 4 Soultimates. So, yeah. Very, very ridiculous. And then just finish it off with a 5th Soultimate. Right here. Trigger the revive. And just like that, we did 2 million damage in 5 Soultimates. This team is ridiculous. Actually. Next up, we have the Mysterious team. Now, the thing with Mysterious is that they don't really look all too powerful when you just look at their stats. But when you actually use them, they're just ridiculous. Like, they are actually insanely ridiculous. I don't understand why they're like this, but they just are. So here... we have Spectre instead of Kirachara, just because I just wanted to use Spectre. That's really just it. So, if I had as you can see, we're already done 467k. It's been 2 Soultimates. So, I don't get a perfect run here, but if I had if I had Beach Natsuomi and had her on the team, we would be doing actually ridiculous numbers, insane damage to this stage. So, I could have linked another Spectre instead of an Aqua, but whatever. As you can see, it's really just not gonna matter. This team is very overtuned. Insanely good team. That can bring more options. You could bring Blue Sky home to Zaku instead of Mika if you wanted to, and then do a better job linking than I did, and you would be doing such ridiculous damage, such as 192k. 1.92 million. Insane. So here we have the Heartful team before I had Doll Yu. So, and before I had Yuzi Yotsuba. So we have Ageha instead of Yotsuba, and we have Puppet Natsuomi instead of Doll Yu. And it's a lot more inconsistent, as you can see with Orihime Natsu's Soultimate. It's not really as close as you'd like it to be. Same with Summer Setsuna. Once you did we dodge I think we dodged a counter. But I don't think it matters for this fight because I'm pretty sure I had enough HP to be able to take a whole nother counter. So it didn't even matter that I dodged the counter this time, which is good because that would have sucked. So even though I don't get the G Soultimate, we still have many more Soultimates coming. So we do an Ageha. It doesn't matter if I don't pop any Puni as long as I don't exclusively try to hit a damage ball. We do damage, which is very useful. So then we just do this, hit a very quick EX pop. You know, it's pretty standard. And then we finish it off with Santanatsu, and as you can see, we have enough HP to be able to take another counter if needed, but obviously we don't. So next up, we have the Charming team. Now the thing with Charming is that with Golden Claws, they are insanely broken, because they just get a starter ranged and can get into Fever Time before they take a normal, which is ridiculous. And since I have terrible board luck, that would be very useful to have right now. But he's not necessary, which means that we can get away with just taking 3 normals, because for whatever reason, Slippery and Charming, I usually have the worst luck trying to get into Fever Time quickly. I don't know what it is about those teams, but it just happens. So, whatever. Anyways, we do a Blizzaria, then, I mean, it's just standard, like, Charming. You've seen me use this team. You know, you do EX Pop, do Fever Extend, and you spam Blizzaria as much as you physically can. So here, I only have 2 Punis, so I have to link 2 more, and then get a Komaki Komami. And then, so what's interesting is that I pop both of them, use the Soultimate, and we still need to do more damage. And then they just fall right back down. So then, I can do this Soultimate, and if I had enough HP, which I can't really tell if I would have enough, but we'd be able to do another Soultimate. Speaking of Slippery, we have them up next. I do not have Kyra, so we cannot spam unities, which sucks because then I have to actually kind of put an effort in, since Slippery is one of the 2 tribes that I just can't really get into Fever Time fast enough with, for whatever reason. It's specifically just them and Charming. We just have to put in a little bit more effort. I don't know why I linked those Puni right there. I just kind of did, just because. So anyways, we get Ryuta's, do a Mercury Death, same song and dances I've done many times before, and then we EX Pop with him. But wait, can you believe it? We do it again, but we do a Seiryu first. Just because. Just for like extra damage. Make sure we can get another Mercury Death and all that, you know, stuff like that. Do another Mercury Death, and then Ryuta, Mercury Death, you know, stuff like that. Pop it because I didn't actually get the G Ultimate somehow. And then to finish off with a Santa U. Yeah, even though we don't have Kyra, they can still win with relative ease. Relatively. Next up, we have the Tough team. And we have minus Gargaros instead of Puppet Gunshin. Just because stats, I guess. They're basically the same character. The only difference is Puppet Gunshin has a better, like, pop heal can be more useful. But Gargaros has more LBs, which means more HP and all that. So, I mean, yeah, that's cool. So, I mean, we just do max damage setup with Tough. It's literally just, that's just how it is. And it's also why I can't say Tough is the best team in the game, because if you're not doing this setup, they're just not really doing much damage. Because you lose like 200k if you don't do the exploit, which is quite a lot. Like, that is a ton of damage. And we do it twice, so yeah, it's a lot. So once we just do that, as you can see, we still haven't done 1.9 million HP. But thankfully, we still have a revive that we can trigger, but we've already done 1.95, so yeah. They're pretty good now. I like them. As I was editing, I realized I only had 8 tribes, and it was Shady that I was missing, ironically enough, which was one of the best teams, I think. So now, instead of Hinozal, we have QB, or Miyabi, whatever you want to call her. So, I mean, it's just Shady. We used Lolita Pecora because she's spammable, helps get Jane up, she's very good. Nobody really thought of her until I accidentally used her. I'm just gonna say it. I think that people are only even considering her as an option because I accidentally did it. Even JP players mainly Yuzu. Yuzu is also doing it, which I think is hilarious. Because at one point I said, I don't want to use Shady unless I can use Pekko and be meta. And well, now I can, I guess. So, yeah. Anyway, we get into fever time. We EX pop. We then do a fever extend. And then we make Jane fire off the nuclear bomb and do pretty decent damage. You know, I think almost 1.2 in 3 Soultimates is pretty good. Then we do a Suisse to pop all of the QBs. Then we do a dark black hole Asu to get more QBs. Then we'd link, you know, link all that stuff. Do a QB. Then, can you guess what we do? We pop all these bonus balls. Link the one QB that appears on the screen. I would have tried to get another QB's ultimate, but obviously I can't. Then I do an EX pop with Pekko, and we're already doing like 2.3 million. Yeah, I really like this team, in case you cannot tell. And finally, to finish it off, we have the Eerie team, except I brought Saku-chan instead of Jingi because I wanted to. Now, the problem with Eerie is Arachnus. Arachnus is a ginormous pain. I hate him. I seriously despise this character. Because how are you going to be a Soultimate filler who's supposed to be ready to fill other Soultimates, and yet you can't get your own Soultimate? Thankfully, Saku-chan is just so goated, she doesn't need help, which is pretty funny. So, again, I literally just brought Saku-chan just because I wanted to. There was no other reason behind it. It's like, she's not better than Jingi. Jingi does, like, so much more damage. In fact, she kind of makes it more difficult to win with. Not because of her drop big, but because of this part. Like, she just shows up so much. Like, that's really just it. So we do an EX pop. Then I think we do a BD. Yeah, we do a BD. I don't know if we need to finish with a Saku-chan, but we're ready to. Oh yeah, we need to. And we get to finish it off with Saku-chan. Let's go! Anyways, on to the bonus clears, I guess. Okay, a lot of these variations, bonus clears are just variations of Heartful, which, if you like the Heartful team, that's pretty cool. So anyways, we have Omatsu, just because. Now, the interesting thing about Omatsu is that it's, at least it feels like, it's better to do your Fever Extend and then do Omatsu's Soultimate. Because she's LB10, she does pretty insane damage when you do a Fever Extend first. Like, as you can see, obviously I did an Agaha, because, of course I did, but we're at almost 550k, which they only have 2 unities, which doesn't feel bad. Anyway, what does feel bad is when you do an Inflate 4, have to do a Summer Setsuna, and then 2 of the Punis are Summer Setsuna. But thankfully we got an Orihime Natsuyomi, so it doesn't really matter. And then we do an EX pop for more damage. Then we do an Agaha, probably, just because. Pretty nice. Then we do an Orihime Natsuyomi, and we perfectly get a Santa Natsuyomi just at the ready. Pop it, do this ultimate, and we won with Omatsu. Let's go! Omatsu sweep. If you thought winning with Omatsu was wild enough, how about free-to-play Heartful winning with Omatsu? I do have UZ plus Yotsuba here. She does not have a bonus unless you bring Double Z Miku. Same thing with Itsuki back in the Brave Clear. So I wasn't actually using a bonus. So yeah. Anyways, we do the same thing. We do a Santa Natsuyomi, except this time, because we have Jibanyan and we don't have any single Omatsus in sight, we do his Soultimate. And then, just because of the way things line up and we get 2 Yotsubas, I decided to use a Yotsuba too. Just because. So that's 3 Soultimates, not boosted by a combo. And now we do it. We do the combo. You know, pretty cool. And as you can see, the damage is actually not that bad. Then we do a Double Z Noelle. Noelle's just goated. Super good character. She doesn't do any damage anymore, but she's still super cool. I like the character. Anyway, we do another Yotsuba. Then we do a Jibanyan. Then, can you guess what we do next? That's right, a Santa Natsuyomi. Then, can you guess what we do next? That's right, an Omatsu. And we just barely barely do enough damage to be able to finish off with a Yuzi plus Yotsuba in order to finish off the fight with that revived Soultimate. Free to play Heartful is better than normal Enma. Let's go. Probably. Alright, we got one more Heartful clear, but this time we're going to do Shady first. So this is free to play Shady. There is not a single Jane in sight. And yet I'm still using Lolita Pecora. Why is that? Well, because, ironically enough, I still think she's better than Punigami in this, because she's spammable. She has drop big, which is actually what this team needs if you don't have Jane. Now, I have Eddie here just because he can guard, but because there's no Jane and there's no character to do almost 1,000,000 damage by herself, we have to, you know, be spamming characters. Now, if you have Miku instead of Lolita Pecora, obviously that would be so much better. But one, I don't have Miku yet. Hopefully I can get her. And then two, even if I did have her, she has a bonus on this throne stage. And even if you get super good luck with the board and just get tons of cubies, that is a lot of cubies you're going to have to get. But thankfully, because Peko has drop big, we can just passively get her Soultimate ready and just link, do a QB, then we'll be able to do a Lolita Pecora for the EX pop. We get a clutch guard right there, super duper clutch, and now I'm blindly linking. Those two QBs I just linked, I did it blind, I wasn't looking. I was just smashing. And I don't get the G Soultimate, but we still haven't done enough damage. But thanks to a clutch guard, because of Eddie, we're able to perfectly get just another QB, and we're able to get that free-to-play Shady clear. Yeah, they kind of... free-to-play Shady's not nearly as good. Alright, so finally, this is what a peak Heartful is going to be if you don't decide to make UZ plus Yotsuba into, you know, the UZ plus and you just decide to keep her as a UZ rank. She does not do as much damage as Agaha does, so the revive just really just ain't worth it, probably. I don't care. I have peak Heartful, so I'm allowed to get away with it. But as you can see, it's basically just the same, except you have to put in a little more effort to make sure you actually get the G Soultimates, because if you don't, you're gonna be running out of damage, and then you don't have that extra revive Soultimate in your back pocket, so you can't go crazy, you know. Yeah, very insane. So anyways, we do a Orihime Natsuyomi, get Dolyu, then we do Agaha. Like, they're a very consistent team. You can basically just do the same thing every time. We've luckily get enough Dolyus to be able to get her G Soultimate, so then we can do the G Soultimate, have enough HP left, then we can finish off the fight with a Summer Setsuna right outside of Beaver Time and do pretty close to 1,000,000. So, yeah, pretty close to 1,000,000. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. Yeah, bye.